Hey everyone, it is day 5 and it's my choice, which to me is the hardest because I could talk about anything if someone gives me the topic, but I thought about this long and hard for the past week. I did a call recently with my team and I think I called it like check your emotions. So I'm going to talk about that today. So I'm calling this Emotion Check 101. And I really believe that if we cannot keep our emotions in line with this business, we're more likely to drop out, not be successful, or feel frustrated during our business. So I'm going to share some different points with you about how we can do this and just some different ideas and practical ways to avoid becoming over emotional. So the first thing is, number one, we all have different gifts, right? A lot of times we can get into this beating ourselves up mode because we see one coach doing something, another one doing something else. She's more successful with this. But we each have a different gift. Your coach, your upline, saw something special and unique in you, and they invited you to join their team. And it's not going to be the same thing for everyone. I have all different girls on my team. Not everyone is big on cooking and clean eating. Some of them are more fitness type buffs, and they play up those strengths. So we can can really beat ourselves up if we're looking at others and seeing what they're doing, seeing how they're progressing. But you need to focus in on what your gifts are. If you need to talk to your coach about that, go for it. I remember before I decided to really push forward with my business, I was dabbling. Megan came over to my house, and I remember I made a grapefruit water out, and she's like, see, you need to be doing this stuff. You have this to offer. And I remember feeling so good. That was the turning point for me, where I felt like, you know what, I do have something to offer. So get in touch with your coach, figure out what those niches are, and don't play that comparison game, because then it's going to bring you down. Your attitude's going to be brought down. Number 2, personal development. The second I slack off on personal development is the second where I get into the woe is me mindset. Not completely, but I start to feel it creeping in. When something doesn't go my way, I'm like, well, it's not my fault. Yeah, we all have control over, the decisions that we make and how we progress in this business. It might not be the same pace for everyone, but we can keep moving forward. But if we're not getting our personal development in, we're going to be stuck in a rut, and our attitudes are going to change. So get it in. The next point is, don't be over emotional. When something good happens, we also need to know that just as quickly that can turn around. For example, I'm thinking of, I had a situation where a coach signed, she was gung-ho, and then something situational changed for her and she had to drop out. And so just as quickly as I could have been like, yay, this girl's going to rock her business, just as quickly as that happened, it could turn around. And if we keep our emotions in line and just say, this is good, obviously celebrate your victories, signing a coach, hitting Success Club, but don't get so stuck on that high that when something bad happens that you become so disappointed. So really keep that in mind. And also when something bad happens, we can't just say, that's it, I'm throwing in the towel. We need to keep pushing forward. So keep those emotions even. Yeah, we want to be happy and celebrate. And it's okay to feel disappointed. I think sometimes that helps us push forward even harder. But we don't want to get so high or so low that it's hard to come, back to that middle ground. This was something that I've heard multiple times. And then Sheila, darling, I love her. She totally pointed something out when I reached out to her. She did something about, recruiting coaches, and I asked, her to let me know how it's going. And she's like, well, why wouldn't you go for it yourself? You might have a totally different outcome than me. And she's like, it's nobody's business, or it's not your business what anybody else thinks about you. And I feel like I often get sucked up into that. I'm so much further along than where I was before. But really, when we start caring about what others think of us, that's our emotions and our feelings coming into play. And that's not who we were created to be. I have an amazing husband who is so good at this. Like, he's like, you know, if my heart's right, I don't really care what others think about me. So, you know, I'm really trying to go forward and like not worry so much about what people think about me, because that can cause us to be upset or even overjoyed. Like, oh, look, you know, good job hitting this benchmark or meeting this goal. And then you get, you know, so sucked up into that high moment that when you don't hear it from someone the next time, it can be disappointing. And I don't want that for me. I don't want that for you. So as long as you know your heart is in the right spot, you need to stop worrying about what other people think about you. And a lot of those same haters will come back around. I know from talking to Megan, she's had it. Myself, I've had a lot of people who doubted what I was doing and are now on board. So really stop worrying what people think about you. And there's a quote that I love that I'm sure you all have seen it at one point or another. And Beachbody uses the word diamond for hitting, I think it's really your first huge benchmark as a coach. And there's that quote, "A diamond is just a piece of charcoal that handled stress exceptionally well." So a diamond is just a piece of charcoal that handled stress exceptionally well. So sometimes we think about, I don't know, in Beachbody world, it's so glamorous once you're a diamond and so sparkly and shiny. But really, I believe, I like this quote far better because they're people who made it through the ups and downs, kept their emotions in line, and now are those sparkly things, but not because of everything went perfectly for them. Actually, it probably was really hard. If you talk to anyone who hit diamond, they'll tell you that they had really low points and probably some really high points too. So my question for you is, how are you going to handle the pressure? What are you going to do to keep your emotions in line as you reach for your next goal in your business? Whether you're a diamond now, I'm pushing for star diamond, 2-star diamond. Right now I'm pushing for 5-star diamond. How am I going to handle the stress, the disappointments, the highs, the lows? I think if you can answer that question clearly, you're going to see yourself growing as a coach. So I hope this helped. I hope that the tips I gave you throughout the week weren't a lot of repeats, and that you can pull something from my time with you all. And thanks for allowing me to share. Have a great weekend.